Hello, hello! It's Kaden. Welcome back to Sun Powered Tarot. It's been a little bit, but I've been wanting to make a video, and I figured it'd be fun to just kind of like sit down and chat, do some spring updates, talk about decks and journaling and all kinds of stuff that I've been doing lately. So yeah, let's jump in. I kind of wanted to wait until it was like nice and sunny outside, but it has been real stormy where I live for the past week or so, and it looks like it's going to continue being rainy. So here we are, we're making the best of it. Spring is nice. I've been really enjoying it, seeing all the leaves back in the trees. But where I am, it's kind of, we're already getting into like summer weather, other than the storms. So it's kind of hot outside already, but we're making the best of it. I've been busy for a bit, so I haven't been making videos. But now I am done with this like year-long certification program that I was working on for work stuff. So theoretically, I have more free time now, which is nice. Although, work is still busy, and I'm in the middle of prepping for a move, which is, moving is a hassle, and like, even though there's not like a ton that I'm doing, like all the time getting ready for it, it's like a mental load, just like thinking about like, oh, I have to do all this and changing things, but doing some apartment tours, making decisions, kind of fun, but also kind of stressful, but that's going well. Um, and I've just been kind of like hanging out, enjoying the weather. A little bit earlier this year, I finally got myself a pair of binoculars to do some bird watching, which has been really fun. Um, it's amazing what's out there once you start paying attention. Like, um, I've been in the same area for a long time, so I've always noticed, like, okay, we have grackles, we have crows, we have, like, pigeons, like default birds that you think of. And it was like whenever I saw, like, a cardinal or a blue jay, it'd be really exciting because they're, like, brightly colored and really cool. And now that I've started paying attention, it's like I see cardinals and blue jays all the time. I see birds that I never would have even thought of being around here. I've started doing like little walks during my lunchtime in like there's this little nature trail by where I live, so I'll go down there for a bit and come back. And there's woodpeckers there, which is so amazing. Like I would have never thought that like I don't know birds as cool as unique in that are like just right here, like within a 20-minute walk of where I live. But they are. It's really cool. I'll put like some pictures on the screen. I don't have like a nice camera or anything, but I have been like trying to take some pictures like with my phone camera through the binoculars, and it like kind of works. Like obviously it's not great, but it's enough to like send pictures to my friends and be like, look at what I saw today, which has been fun. So I've been doing that. I've been reading a lot this year. My goal this year was 12 books, and I'm currently at 14 finished so far, which is nice. It's like I'm out of college now. I have more time to read. Who would have thought? So I won't go over like every single book that I've read, but this year so far I've been reading the Murderbot Diaries books, which I am loving so far. I've heard a ton of people recommend them, and they are indeed very good. They're short and exciting. They are like, I didn't realize how short they were. I read the first book in like an evening because I didn't realize. I think my e-reader said it was like 30,000 words or something, which is like, comfortably like cozy up on the couch in an evening and go through it. So I've been really enjoying those. I've only read the first three so far because they all have like 10-week hold times at my library. So I'll like reserve a bunch and then have to wait for them to come in and stuff. And I know there are like other cities in the US that have like open library things that I keep meaning to look into, but have not yet. But the Murderbot Diaries books are really good. This year so far, I've also been on an Ursula K. Le Guin kick. I read Buchanan's World and then the first three Earthsea books so far. I'm really loving them. I love her style of like sci-fi and like the focus on the people and stuff. It's really interesting. And this year I wanted to read more of her work and some more like, I don't know, like classic sci-fi fantasy that I just haven't gotten to yet. Other than those, various nonfiction books, some other things. I finally got around to reading The Fragile Threads of Power, which is the next. V.E. Schwab wrote like the Shades of Magic series, which I really loved, and then she started a new series which is like a sequel to that. So I read that one, really loved it. Um, when I read The Shades of Magic, all the books had already come out, so I could just like read through them, like three in a row, read the whole thing. It was really good. But now, like, I'm reading the series as it comes out, so I have to wait to figure out what happens next. But yeah, other than that, I've been playing Stardew Valley. The 1.6 update came out. I got back into the game, as have a ton of other people. This is only like my third playthrough of Stardew. Um, I don't do a ton of video games. Like, I love them, but I could just never finish them. But it's like every time I play through, I learn a little bit more about the game. So it's like, I've unlocked the desert now. I've never done that before. But yeah, Stardew's fun. Life has been pretty good. Lots of things happening. But that's just kind of the way of life. So now on to tarot stuff. My practice has been pretty light, not too much has changed. I'll do my daily-ish 2-card pulls, the odd like 3-card spread if I have like an actual question or something, or like if I want to sit down and do a reading or like test drive a new spread. And then my yearly reading, I do that at the beginning of June, so that's coming up. Because we're already like, it's mid-May, which is wild. Um, but yeah, this year so far I've gotten a few new decks, so those are always fun, so let's look through those. I got the Tarot de Carlotydes. I got this at the beginning of February. I've seen this one around for a while. It's very fun. I really love the backs on these. They're so floral, so beautiful. I really also like the cardstock. This is a Fournier deck, and it's kind of slippy. Like, if I just set it down, like, it just slides. Like, um, but it's smaller than a standard tarot size, so I can actually fit it in my hands. It's nice to shuffle. But I really like this deck. Hierophant in this. Look at that, one of my favorites. But this deck, it's very whimsical, it's very dreamy, it's very floral. I think it'd be really interesting to do a deck study of this because the guidebook it comes with is just kind of like, I mean, it's a Fournier deck, and this is my only one of those, but I imagine like it just kind of seems like a bog standard little white book. Um, it just has a couple of keywords in it. Not really anything going into like the artist's decisions or like what the art says about a certain card. It's just kind of like basic keywords. I think it'd be fun to sit down and do like my own like little mini DIY guidebook for this. Just kind of going into like what I think, studying the symbolism, making some decisions, enjoying that. I always think that like, you know, it would be fun to do a DIY guidebook kind of project, but like that's a big project. When I was first learning the tarot, I like kind of did that. I made a little notebook and I would like do my daily readings, like a 1-card pull, and then like look up and jot down the meanings as I like pulled a card. But there's 78 cards in the deck. It'll take a little while to go through all of those if you're only just doing one a day. But that's still a fun project, so maybe. Um, I'm a fan of this deck. I'm still working with it. It's only been February. It's only been a couple of months since I got it, but I'm enjoying it quite a bit. The other deck that I got at the beginning of February was the Queer Tarot, which, once again, I'm a huge fan of. I think I first saw this deck on Sylvie at Tarot Magpie's channel. They were showing it off in probably a couple different videos. Um, this deck is kind of a lot, and it's one of those where I didn't really think I would like it, but I really, really do. This deck is queer joy, like absolutely. Um, Joy in just seeing all of these people living their lives. The guidebook for this, so let me grab it. The guidebook for this deck is really good, actually. I've just bookmarked like where the different suits are and stuff, but like every card has like who all of these people in the deck are based on like actual real life queer people that the artist knows and like drew. So like they're mentioned in the book. Like some of them, I think some of them, yeah, like even the dogs. Like some of the cards with animals have like, yep, here are the pets who modeled. I think like some of them have like their Instagram handles or something in here. Not as many as I thought. But I'm a big fan of this deck. It's queer joy, but it's also like, the spectrum of experiences and emotions that like the whole tarot conveys. But just seeing all of these people just as they are, like the diversity in this deck is amazing. it's so bright and colorful, and I love the art style. And even if it's a bit like bright and excessive, like that's what makes it so fun. Um, Again, like I wouldn't have thought I liked how like bright and loud and pink this is, but I really, really love it. The strength is like one of my favorites. The Hierophant is really good. Like all of these, love them so much. This deck is like not quite a hug deck, but like an energy boost, like confidence boost kind of deck because like I mean just look at all of these people. It's amazing. The world. I love the court cards in this deck. Even though I kind of struggle with court cards, as a lot of people do. Like, I don't know. Just look at this. Amazing. um, I mentioned the guidebook is really solid. I've been kind of like going through it as I draw cards, but at some point I would love to sit down and just kind of like go through the whole thing. There's some spreads in there that I want to try. The cardstock is nice, but this deck is bigger than standard tarot size, and it's just like slightly too big for my hands. I can just like barely hold on to it. So I cannot riffle shuffle this, and I can barely kind of like grab onto it to overhand it. That's like probably the only thing that isn't my fave about this deck, but other than that, love it. And then another one, I wasn't really going to mention it, but it just arrived yesterday. I got the Eldritch Overload. Again, this is like brand new to me, so I haven't done much with it yet, but it's very nice. A little white book, mostly just keywords. I haven't really gone into it very much, but just like simple upright reversed meanings. The backs are reversible and very bright and fun. Again, this is another one of those decks where it's like, I wouldn't think of myself as someone who likes these really bright, like over the top kind of designs, but turns out I really do like them. And this deck is very sparkly. I don't know if you can see it, it has like the like sparkly foiling. What do they call it on the box? Okay, yeah, hollow foil stamped. I've already shuffled it and worked with it a tiny little bit, so it's out of order. But this deck was on my wish list for a very long time. Again, this was another deck that I saw on Sylvia Tarot Magpie's channel. It was on my wish list forever. Finally got around to getting it. The time was right. It's just so fun. It's cyberpunk fantasy. I didn't get the guidebook, but I think like the original Kickstarter guidebook comes with like a D&D 5e adventure, which is kind of fun. And like there are references to 5e through the deck. But it's very fun. It's very bright and sparkly. This is one of those decks where like I look at it and I think like, yeah, owlbear reference. Maybe it's too dark to see it, but like little bits of D&D in here, which is fun. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this is one of those decks that like makes me want to like sit down and write, like use this as writing inspiration because it's such a rich world and I love the imagery and it's so unique to the other decks that I have. Like this Six of Wands, so cool. The cups, instead of cups we have the suit of potions. But like, this deck is just so much fun. I'm really excited to get to know it. The cardstock is nice. I can actually hold it in my hands. It's a reasonable size. I'm pretty sure this is standard tarot size. You know what? Actually, I should probably check. Haven't done that yet. Grab the yellow box here. Yeah, okay. That's exactly standard tarot size. Maybe not exactly. Okay, maybe it's off by like a millimeter. But yeah, basically standard tarot size. So I can actually hold it in my hands, which is very nice. I don't know. I'm excited about this deck. I think it's going to be very inspiring, very fun to work with. And that is it for like new decks. I'm trying to be slow about it. There are several decks that I'm eyeing, as always. But I know if I get a bunch of decks, I'm gonna get overwhelmed and not use them and like feel bad about not using them. I'm just a small deck collection kind of person, so I just want to space things out, take my time. I am still reaching for the Spacious Tarot as a comfort deck all the time. The deck I've had the longest, very familiar, very nice. Um, haven't really been doing anything too new or exciting in my tarot journal, so I'll just skip over that for a bit. And the other thing I wanted to talk about today, actually, was my commonplace book, because I've been having a lot of fun with it. I started going through this book in like mid-October, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I got into this because I wanted to read more nonfiction, I wanted to learn things, but I just kind of like never got around to it. And having this book has helped me want to read more and really enjoy reading more. It's a nice hobby, right? Because like I like reading interesting things, I like taking notes on interesting things, I like nice stationery and like having a nice pen, just that like tactile experience of like actually handwriting something. So, Commonplace book kind of combines all of those, and it's a really nice experience, a nice hobby, nice thing to do. Um, I'll kind of like do a little quick flip through tour of my Commonplace notebook. It's just kind of simple. This is a like term, you know, still not entirely 100% sure how to pronounce that, but it's a nice notebook. I was worried the paper would be a bit thin. It ghosts like a little bit, but not bad at all. Um, I'm using the table of contents at the front of the book for just like which entries I have, and then just taking notes, very simple, black pen, a single color of highlighter, and then occasionally, if I want to like write down some of my own thoughts about something, I'll like put that in another color, but it's pretty simple. In the back, I have an index. One of the things that stopped me from starting a commonplace book for so long was like, how am I going to organize it? Because I like having like a hardbound journal. I've tried disc-bound before, and it's just not my thing. Even though like the pages don't fall out, like they're pretty solid, it just still feels like a little bit too wobbly for me. So I like bound notebooks, but I was like, how am I going to organize it? And then I think it was Notebook Overload on YouTube. I'll find their channel if I can, or I'll find like the exact video if I can get to it. Um, but on that video, there was like an index system that they went over, and I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. I'll just do an index like that. So like whenever I make an entry, after I finish it, I'll go back to the index and kind of like write down anything that seems relatable to that like entry and organize it. And it's been fun to like watch this index build out and see like what kind of things I write about. So like lots of stuff about gardening and energy and some Audre Lorde quotes in here. I've mostly been writing about like tech stuff, environmental things, oftentimes the intersection of those. If I'm reading like a nonfiction book, I'll have sections to like jot notes down about it. I keep sticky notes in the back to kind of like keep track of what topics I want to research. So like if I have any questions or anything, like I have some questions about like computer hardware and stuff, just kind of general topics, like I want to read more about like feminism and the history of that, a lot of like US labor movement stuff that I want to research. And it's nice because like the more I read, I'll come up with questions that I want to answer and more things to research later, which has been really fun. Sarah from Tangy Tarot did a video about her commonplace book a while back. I'll link that too. But that was fun. It's so cool to see how many people are doing commonplace book stuff on YouTube, and so many people are putting their own spin on it and like customizing it to their interests. It's really cool. I enjoy seeing like what other people like to research and how they set up their notebooks and stuff. I'm sure like historically there's like a proper way to do commonplacing, and I'm not doing it. But that's fine. You know, what's more important is that you're enjoying it and you're interested in it and you're getting something out of it. So, I'm like halfway through this now, a little bit more than halfway. Which is exciting because when I finish this notebook, I get to get another one and keep on commonplacing and probably carry over these sticky notes because there's still so many things I want to learn about. But commonplacing, been wonderful, very nice hobby. I'm kind of glad I got to it. Wish I had started earlier because I really like it, but here I am. So that's that. And then just kind of like to wrap up, I'm still getting the hang of making videos, but I have plenty of ideas. I have this big old list on my computer. And there's so many projects that I want to do. I kind of want to make like a little NeoCities kind of website or a blog or something. A lot of the ideas that I have, it's like, sure, I can make a video and talk about them, but sometimes I feel like they'd work better as just something written out. Writing comes a little bit more naturally to me than just like talking. So maybe I'll do that. And also, I love like the like indie web, old web style of doing things. I've always wanted to make a website of my own for that, but I just haven't really had a topic to make it on. But tarot would be a fun topic for that. I want to do lots of practice readings. Maybe I'll make a video about that or something. Um, but I want to be able to read for friends. I don't really have an interest in like reading for a ton of people, but I think it'd be nice to be able to like, have some friends over, we're hanging out. I can pull up a deck and like we'll just like go through the cards, do readings, have fun. That seems like a cool thing to be able to do. I just really read for myself most of the time, all of the time, really. So I'd like to get some practice in reading for other people because I think that'd be a cool skill, and I'm sure it would help me in my readings, like for myself. I mentioned earlier that I wanted to do like a DIY guidebook kind of thing. Um, I think it'd be fun to like design a layout, like design a journal layout, and then like print it and bind it and stuff. I do bookbinding as just as a hobby. Um, but like this is my most recent journal. I'm very slowly like leveling up, I guess, and getting slightly better materials, getting a bit more practice into doing things. I keep a journal, and at some point I like I go through one of these in like 3 months or so, and I just got tired of buying new ones, and I was like, okay, I need to learn how to do bookbinding. So I did, and I've been doing that for a couple of years. This is my most recent one. This was my first attempt using like actual book cloth instead of just paper, so that's been nice. Although it's a bit plain. I kind of want to learn to make my own book cloth so I can just like go to the fabric store, buy something with a fun pattern, and use that. Um, this was just like plain black, so I put some stickers on it. This is from when I went to Seattle. Very fun. Cat cafes are a very fun experience. Um, but like this is just blank. Um, but I think it'd be fun to like design and print something for like a guided tarot journal kind of thing, even if it's just me doing it. Um, that could be a fun video too. The idea's been bouncing around in my head for like a tarot themed study with me because I want to do more studying and tarot practice and stuff. So again, could be fun. I don't know. I'm just kind of rolling with things as they happen, as the ideas appear in my brain. So, but yeah, that is basically all I wanted to chat about today. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been lovely to see you. Let me know how your spring is going in the comments. Any fun decks you're working with, any journaling things, anything cool you've been reading recently. Let's chat, let's hang out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later, and bye!